Hey guys, today we're going to look at the Ganzo F7611. This is a relatively new Ganzo on the market. It's been around months, but not, super new, not old news either. This is a relatively large folder that is very typical of Ganzo and that uses the 440C stainless steel G10 handles and the access lock clone that they call the G-Lock nowadays. So we're going to take a look at the, check this out guys, we splurged. We got a ruler now. So you know you made it into the big leagues. You got your own ruler. So you can see there we have about a 3.5-inch blade, 8-inch overall length. And we got the kids invading the studio. So you're looking at about 3 millimeters thickness on the blade there. And check out how super professional I am. Whoa. Scale. What's next? What's next? Gold knives. Now you're like, hey, I wish you could afford a babysitter. Yeah, that ain't happening. Alright, so let's take a quick look at construction of this bad boy. So we have that access lock that we mentioned. A little stiff on this one. Very nice, very thick pocket clip, kind of paddle style. Very good retention on that bad boy. You have milled out liners. I'm not sure if you can see in there. We're going to give that a little focus. But they are milled out to save weight. You have that kind of open back construction with that little plastic spacer on the end with a little jimping. Also a little jimping here towards the end and on the end of the blade. You have that little bit of a finger trail and also the tiny little sharpening trail there to help you out. The get up closer here. You can see the handle has a very nice texture to it. It's very nice, very good grip to it, and then it has these kind of cutouts as well that kind of add to it as well. You have the lanyard hole there as well. The pocket clip is reversible. Both sides tip up, carry only. Alright, as far as blade centering, give another focus. You can see we have pretty darn good blade centering. Not perfect, but really good for a sub $20 knife. The action is pretty smooth. I'm behind a camera, mind you, so but you can see that will snap wide open, and you can almost, if you're not behind a camera and you really try, you can get that to snap open and close. One problem and one thing I will note right off the bat is this will fling open, so you do have to be careful of dropping this bad boy. But action is pretty smooth out of the box, even though it is a little stiff. But it's definitely something you can work with. Alright, so we're going to set this bad boy down for a second. Talk about the other thing, which a lot of people want to know, is sharpness out of the box. And it came laser. That's just a folded up, crumpled piece of paper, and you can still take little tiny... You can actually almost kind of like do these little nice little curls. See that? You can do these kind of neat little curls with it. It's actually very, very sharp out of the box. The 440C, Ganzo's 440 is pretty well known for being pretty decent. It holds a better edge than AUS 8. Many, many people have tested and found over and over again that it does. It just holds a great edge. Very easy to sharpen. It's a great steel. So overall, when you look at this guy, what you have is a relatively heavy knife. 4.5 ounces is kind of heavy, but you also have a big 3.5-inch cutting blade on this thing, and it fits well in the hand. Now I have kind of small fingers, big palms, and you can see I'm not too crowded. If you had really big fingers, this might be an issue with you, but for me it fits my hand pretty well. It's pretty ergonomic and comfortable. I can really kind of put my thumb up there or put it on the jimping. My hand fits into that choil very well, and you notice as well that my finger kind of rests perfectly on that indentation in the pocket clip, and I'm a lefty. Now as a righty, it fits my hand pretty well also. I'm used to carrying a knife in the left hand, so it's kind of weird for me, but yeah, overall it fits my hand nicely. Alright, so I think this is a pretty neat little knife. It's not the end-all be-all of knives, obviously. Ganzo makes a lot of knives, and they make a lot of very good knives. Plus, there's a lot of good knives out there that are made in the USA that are also pretty awesome and pretty affordable. So, the kind of guys who are going to want this are the guys who want an inexpensive knife on the larger side, but also has that nice kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but just that hint of a hollow grind for that big first primary bevel. So what you have here, and what's kind of cool about this knife, and what I kind of like about it, is you have that rather thicker stock on the blade. It tapers down nicely though to a very fine tip, but also your cutting edge is very, very thin. A lot of cheap knives have thick stock and then they don't do much of a relief on there, and then what you have is a very obtuse cutting edge. It's like over 25 degrees sometimes, and you never have great cutting performance. This, on the other hand, has really good cutting performance because it has such a thin edge. Uh-oh. We got a stage 9 nap emergency coming up here, so we're going to wrap this up pretty quick. So I think the grind on this is done very well. You do have that very kind of nice hollow grind to it, which thins that edge out. I mean, you can kind of see because there's a little fuzz on the edge there, but that edge gets very, very thin, and your tip gets very, very thin as well. So this knife, even though it's a bigger knife... Oh, boy. Okay, guys, I apologize for the noise. We're going to cut this pretty quick. So as I was saying, even though this is a bigger knife and a thicker knife, it has a thinner cutting edge and a very nice, thin, delicate tip. Very good for kind of EDC work, when you don't want that thin blade that might snap on you if you're going to use it as a pry bar. But you also get that thin edge, so it's kind of a nice in-betweener. You have that thicker stock but thinner edge, so I think they did a really good job with... profiling the knife in that blade geometry just is really kind of spot on. Handles decent, like I said, decent ergonomics. Nothing amazing, but they're pretty good. And overall value, this is just kind of a really nice knife for what you're getting. It looks nice up close. You can see that texturing looks nice. Got my fingerprints all over the blade. But overall, guys, this thing's a very nice, very handy, very capable knife. Except the only issue you're going to have is that lock, the access locks, guys, they can be a little wonky. They can be either too tight or too loose, and this one's kind of a little bit of both. It's a little. I think it's what it is just that I think the back edge of the blade isn't maybe cut as rounded as well as it should be, and your spring is a little tough. So this has got a tough spring, but I think just the edge, the way it's cut, provides a really kind of strong relief there. So I think it kind of makes it a little goofy kind of that time. But yeah, this thing really snaps open once you kind of open that lock. But without that lock, opening it with the thumb studs, it's not a treat. So yeah, so I like it. Not my favorite Ganzo, not my least favorite by far. But overall, guys, I think this is a really nice one to add to the collection if you're a Ganzo guy.